He's Adam Carolla, who joins us on the program. There's a show on Spike TV. It's a new series, Catch a Contractor, premieres this Sunday night at 10 Eastern. He's the host of that. He joins us now. Just trying to settle a barroom discussion here, Adam. You want in on it?
Sure. Yeah.
How are you gonna settle it? We're gonna fight, or what are we gonna do? What do we do?
Well, I only heard the beginning part of the barroom discussion, so I got to hear the end part.
Okay, you can start your team with any young quarterback. Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick, Andrew Luck, RG3, Cam Newton. Who you got?
I like Kaepernick because I feel like he has the best of Cam Newton and the best of Andrew Luck and just sort of the best of all of them. Like, he's smart. He's got a great arm. He's got great legs. He can move the chains on third down, but he's not going to just sort of go Michael Vick on you and get himself hurt. I just think that guy, that guy just converts third downs. And, I mean, hard to argue with Russell Wilson, but on the other hand, if you have a defense that, where Peyton Manning can't score a touchdown, it's hard to lose a lot of games, too.
When you were on the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel, how would you guys settle arguments if you had him on the show?
We would just flip a juggie. Head, hope for head. Sometimes you get tails. Originally, that's how the trampoline was introduced into the show. We needed a way to do it that didn't put so much strain on our lower back.
Well, it's so classy to have women on trampolines. I loved it.
Well, I think that was I really think that was invented because the network said, we need a woman's point of view on this show. We need a feminine perspective. And we're like, no, it's the Man Show. And it was back in the days where they're like, yeah, but you need a sassy blonde to stand in between you two and tell you you're wrong. We want a female presence. And we said, well, if you'd like a female presence, we will put them on a trampoline. And that's how it happened.
Why catch a contractor? What made you say, you know what, it's time that I caught these contractors ripping us off?
Well, I used to be a carpenter for many, many years. That was my former life out of high school was I swung a hammer for a living. So I grew up in L.A., and I grew up with a lot of these guys. And so when Spike pitched me the idea, I immediately thought, oh, this is a winner, because everybody I spoke to had dealt with a bad contractor. As a former contractor, when I would show up to a dinner party, and not that there were many dinner parties back in the day, but more barbecues and Sunday football, everyone would always say, oh, you're a contractor? Oh, let me tell you a horror story about getting screwed over by someone you work with. And I realized it was, so prevalent, and that people had this experience so often that this would resonate with people, and I think it has and will.
Did it get intense? Was there an episode where you went, uh-oh, go time?
All of them were very intense. There were two components that were very intense. Catching the contractor, literally setting up the sting. I could remember sometimes when the homeowner, we would always talk to the homeowner first, and they'd say, yeah, he's a big dude. He's got a lot of tattoos. He's into bikes, and he's kind of volatile. So, expect the unexpected. That part always kind of freaked me out a little bit. And he's got, he may be holding a hammer. The other part was when we got the contractor back to the house to confront the homeowner. That's when it really picked up. All of a sudden, I felt like I was 8 and Mommy and Daddy were getting a divorce, and it was horrible.
Are you sort of Chris Hansen to catch a predator, to catch a contractor? Is that the role?
Yeah, I am. I am, except for the part where I go, you're free to leave. And in which case, the Fresno PD tackle you on the lawn. By the way, I don't want to give any tips to pedophiles. That's not why I called in the show, Dan.
Okay.
But if you meet someone on the internet and you're going over to their house and they say they have some Toll House cookies and some sweet tea waiting for you, always do what I do, which is hire a Domino's guy to swing by, small cheese pizza. Let him knock on the door. If you don't see a camera crew, you're free to enter. It's $7 for the pizza, $7 well spent.
He's Adam Carolla. The show on Spike TV is Catch a Contractor premieres this Sunday night at 10 Eastern and Pacific. Where do you stand with participatory trophies in sports, that culture?
I am very. I know exactly where I stand because I played 10 years. I played 7 years of Pop Warner football, Pop Warner Pee Wee football, and to this day, I have two trophies that I cherish. One is the other team voted on who the best defensive player was after our bowl game, and it was me. And the other one was a most valuable trophy I got. All the other ones, all the participation trophies, and I probably have 23 of them, don't mean anything to me. And I'm happy to say that my son, who's playing basketball at the Y last year at age 6, after the season, everyone got handed the little plastic trophy with the little plastic basketball on it. And about halfway home, my wife said in a panicked voice, "Oh, my goodness, we've left the trophy back on the lawn at the Y. We don't have it with us." And my son just casually said, "Yeah, don't worry about it."
I like that.
It didn't mean anything to him. It doesn't register. When you're standing there and you see every single person on the team's name called and the exact same trophy get handed to every single person on the team, it means nothing. That same piece of plastic would have meant the world if they'd said the most valuable player goes to Sonny Carolla. He would have grabbed for the e-brake, and we would have went Dukes of Hazzard back to the Hollywood Y.
I also like what you have a goalpost solution here. And I don't think this has ever been up with the NFL Rules Committee, but can you explain your goal line goalpost proposal?
It's super elaborate and super lengthy, but here goes.
Okay.
Raise the upright 6 feet. We don't have to see the ball sailing over the top of the upright, not knowing whether it ever would have been fair or foul, so to speak. These guys, these sidewinders, these kickers from 46, 48 yards out are kicking it over the top of the upright, and we have the 66-year-old guy with the cataracts and the vertigo looking straight up into the night air underneath the post as the ball goes by at 70 miles an hour and declaring whether it would have caromed in or caromed out. I don't think in this day of, super slow motion instant replay and lasers and all that, this is an effective method. It drives me insane. It happened in the first Monday night game this year. It happens at least 10 times a season, and a Super Bowl will be decided by a ball going over the upright. And for the cost of $250 per stadium, they could all be retrofitted with a little thin wall steel tubing and a scissor lift. I don't get it, Dan. Why aren't we doing this?
Why don't we get a contractor to come in and do it?
This is why you're the best, Dan Patrick. Bringing it full circle.
There you go.
Silky smooth transition.
Catch a Contractor, Spike TV, new series. Adam Carolla is your host this Sunday night at 10 Eastern and Pacific. Adam, good luck with the show. Good to visit with you.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.